Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Desi Dhamaka, a podcast hosted by yours truly, Parwaiz Dhanani, exclusively on Spotify and YouTube. What episode are we at? We're at episode 6 now. Still don't know what it's going to be called, but the topic for today. Also, let's just address the elephant in the room. I am working on setup, okay? I know if you're listening to this on Spotify, you won't really understand what I'm talking about, but it'll be released in due time on Monday. So I guess I'll get to see it then. But let's just address the elephant in the room. I understand that this isn't a professional setup, but also what did you expect? This isn't going to be a professional setup, okay? I am a university student filming this on my desk in my room. There's the coffee maker, there's the empty poster board, and there is the beautifully decorated door with a couple Polaroids that I got for free. That's not the point. I don't know why I'm getting into that. I'm just addressing the elephant in the room. So, yeah. Another elephant, which we will discuss, is why exactly have I omitted the funny story? Because right now, there's not much funny thing. Much funny thing. Wow, I can't talk in English. Many funny things going on in my life. So I've just decided to omit the story entirely. I need to stop playing with this rubber band. I've decided to omit the story element entirely. And we're just going to get along with the main topic of the video. I am so all over the place, more all over the place, arguably, than I have been in the past. But I'm so talkative, I need to stop. But also the point of the... Take a second. Okay, okay. So I also thought that instead of me talking about 7 to 8 different things every single podcast episode, let's just center it on the main topic for the podcast. That way they're shorter, they're easier to edit for me, and they'll be up when I promise they will be up. Let's also address another elephant in the room. We're at 3 elephants now and counting. Big ass pimple on my lip. We're gonna pretend like that doesn't exist, and we're just gonna move on with our lives. Alright, solid. Now that we're all on the same page. Today's episode, I have... Okay, if you are into Parwaiz Dhanani lore, you understand that I have posted a TikTok about this before. Long, long ago, in a land far, far away, I posted a TikTok, and the TikTok was about Nora Fatehi and Deepika Padukone. And if you have any sort of knowledge on Bollywood, you would know exactly where I'm going with this. It is about Nora Fatehi's World Cup moment and Deepika Padukone's World Cup moment. But this episode is centered on Nora Fatehi's success at the World Cup. And the World Cup 2022. Yes, because it is 2024 right now, and I am way too old. That also was not the point of that little intro bit. Anyway, please, I'm getting way ahead of myself. So, let's talk about it. Who is Nora Fatehi? If we want to take it back that far, because I feel like this is an informational episode, if anything. Who is Nora Fatehi? Wikipedia describes Nora Fatehi as a Canadian dancer and actress based in India. She has appeared in Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, and Malayalam films. Fatehi made her acting debut, and I don't need to read that because that's not part of her introduction. She's basically Canadian, Moroccan descent, and works in India. So she represents a lot. She's mostly known for her performances, I would like to say. Her performances in the Indian film industry. And my camera is shaking so much, and that needs to stop. She is known for her performances in the Indian film industry. And I just said that sentence twice, so you get bonus content. The reason I exclaim that Nora is an Indian film industry performer and not a Hindi industry film performer is because she has, what is it, Telugu, Tamil, and Malayalam films and projects under her belt. So she is multifaceted in that aspect. So, I also completely forgot where I was going with this, but that is basically who Nora Fatehi is. And if you want like a quick condensed version, she's done iconic songs like Dilbar, Saki Saki, um, Kamaria, she's done Ek To Kam Zindagani, and then obviously she headlined the World Cup. So that's basically who Nora Fatehi is. And when it comes to where she came from and like her come up, if that's how you want to call it, um, Wikipedia says that Fatehi gained. It's not. Also, this episode isn't just me reading her Wikipedia. Okay, let's like relax because my thoughts are incoming. But it's just like to give you a little bit of background on who she is. Fatehi gained popularity in Telugu films for her item songs. So she's done what Temper, Bahubali, and Kick 2. Her most notable song, I have to say, and I will pause so I can insert a clip of the song, is Manohari from Bahubali. Take a listen. It's quite literally one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. I wanted to perform to this song for the longest time ever. And it is just such a beautiful and powerful song. Just close your eyes and imagine this song playing at full volume in an empty amphitheater. Actually, maybe not empty because it is a performance song in a full amphitheater that is completely silent and a performance going on. Just formations, costumes, everything. It's a grand song. That's actually how I want to put it. It's a grand song. Whoa, that's besides the point. Beside the point. I don't know what the saying is. She's starred in Malayalam films as well as an actress, so I guess she is an actress, but I wouldn't consider her an actress. I'm not saying she's not an actress. That's actually exactly what I'm saying. This must be very confusing for you, actually. She participated as a contestant on Bigg Boss. So Bigg Boss is the Hindi version of Big Brother, if you're familiar with that, where random strangers get locked in a house until, one of them remains. They're not killing each other. I just want to preface this by saying that, obviously. But yeah, that's, I think, her introduction into the Hindi film industry was Big Boss because Big Boss is hosted by Salman Khan traditionally. I know Shah Rukh Khan's hosted it. Amitabh Bachchan has hosted it. Hot take, I want Kajol to host Big Boss. And, I'm kind of onto something there. And I don't want to hear any ifs, ands, or buts about it because I think I'm onto something, like I said before. I'm repeating myself a lot. If I condense this episode into actually me saying everything once, this episode might only be 10 minutes long. Anywho, so yeah, she starred in Big Boss 9. She was in the ninth season? I could have sworn she was in like the second. Maybe that's just a me thing. Um, but she did Big Boss. She did not win. Because yeah, she did not win. She did Jalak Diklaja, which is the Indian version of So You Think You Can Dance. I think I could be very wrong. It could also be like Dancing with the Stars, sort of the equivalent of that. But Jalak Diklaja is like a dance competition show, and India has a lot of dance shows. Just way too many, if we're being honest. But Jhalak Diklaja is one of the iconic ones, so she was on that. And then her big breakthrough, as far as I'm concerned, was her doing Dilbar, and that was a part of the movie Satyam Vijete. How long ago was that? That was released in, give me one second, give me one second, give me one second, 2018. So she's been in the scene for about, oh, I can't do math. I don't know why I decided to do this. 6, 7 years? 7, 8 years ish. What am I doing that's causing all of this disruption to the camera? Yeah, 7, 8 years that she's been in the game for, which is not that much time if you think about it. A lot of people have been in this industry for a lot longer and have accomplished a lot less. So you gotta give her props where she deserves it. She came from an item girl to achieving massive feats like the World Cup. And the reason Dilbar was so big is because, yes, it was a remix, but also it was the first Hindi song to cross 20 million views in YouTube after the first 24 hours. So that in 2018 was a big feat. Still is. 20 million views in 24 hours is insane. But yeah. So that was the first Hindi song to do numbers like that. So that's why it was such a big feat. Also, like, this was the first time she, like, you know, introduced herself as Nora Fatehi in such a big space. So yeah, props to her for that. But that's basically her come up. And then she obviously did an Arabic version of Dilbar, and that's where she collaborated with Moroccan hip hop group Nair and released Dilbar, the Arabic version. So that's how she got into the sort of worldwide music market, if you will. Um, and yeah, that's sort of her come up, or a little quick glimpse into how she became what she is today. What else did I write down on my little notepad here? Okay, so how did she get the World Cup gig? So, like I said before, she worked with the the Moroccan hip hop group Nair. It's Fnaire. I don't know how to pronounce that, so I'm gonna say Nair. She worked with them, and because of that connection, she worked with them once again on Pep Pepita Pepta Pepto-Bismol. I don't know how to pronounce that, but she did her own song where she sang. She's also a singer. Is that how I introduced her? I'm losing track at this point. But yeah, she did an English song, Pepeta, Pepita, Pepita, Pepita. I we're moving on. So she worked with them, I believe, on that song as well, and that's basically how she got the connection for the World Cup. In this, okay, so basically where I'm getting all my information from is this documentary that Nora Fatehi posted to her YouTube channel. It's basically like an hour and 10 minute long documentary type film about how she got the gig and the World Cup performance and everything that went into it, and like the backlash she got and how she overcame that, and literally everything that has to do with the World Cup and her performance, and how she got the song gig basically has to do with that. So take a look. I think it's very entertaining. Then again, I have a Nora Fatehi bias, so maybe I'm a little biased. And that's also what I just said. So take a look at that if you will. But I'm basically gonna. The whole point of this episode is basically to summarize that documentary, but also to like give my 2 cents on the issue because that became a huge thing, which I will get into in a bit. But basically, how she got the gig, the producer Fnair, I think, called Nora because they like this. They worked on Dilbar, like the Arabic version, right? And they did their first English song together. So it was like a where do you see yourself in 5 years type thing, type beat, if you will. Ew. Um, so it was that which led Fnair, I think, to get a call from the World Cup, acting like the World Cup is a person, Cup, comma, the world, and offered him this offered him the gig of possibly producing and working with Nora Fatehi on a World Cup anthem, which was called Light Up the Sky. Light the Sky Up? No, Light Up the Sky. Oh, what a good song. I, hot take, it's a good song. But I think around this time of the World Cup, this song wasn't getting as much attention as maybe some other songs were. Obviously, there was the tuku tuku taka tuku tu ta ta tuku tu. I'm getting a little too into it. There was that song with I think it was Nicki Minaj and obviously the woman that was in the song. I don't remember her name. Um, there was that song. There was Haya 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 Haya. Haya. There was the Dreamer song. There was. This is so bad because I know none of these songs. And then there was a song with Ozuna as well. So there were all of these songs, and I think the song that got the least appreciation, if you will, was definitely Nora Fatehi's song. And it wasn't just her, it was a collaboration with artists like Red One, Manal, Balkis, Belkis, and Rahma Riyad. So established artists in their own right, but I consider it a Nora Fatehi song because she's saying the chorus, the hook, everything that was used in the World Cup. So I'm just gonna go off of that. I also forgot where I was. So, would you look at that? So I'm gonna need to figure out where I was, actually. Um, but yeah, that's how she got the gig. She got the call for the World Cup, and obviously she said yes, no shit, and that's how she is where she is. And fun fact that I found in the documentary as well, Badshah wrote the Hindi part of the song, which the Hindi part of the song is so slay. It may not be like the most intricately written bit, I will give them that, but like it's very like it's so cool to like know that it wasn't just Nora Fatehi. It was like she brought on another Indian artist to work with her. Badshah is Indian, right? Badshah. Indian, yes. So yeah, she brought on like another Indian artist to work with her. So it's like she's incorporating her culture, her heritage into everything she's doing for the World Cup, which I salute her for. Maybe not physically because that's a little cringe, but theoretically speaking, salute. Um, but yeah, I thought that was really cool. Um, what else did I want to talk about? So that's how she got the gig. The song, let's talk about it. It's called Light Up the Sky, and again, it's with those four artists. And I think the song is like, it's not Waka Waka. I will give it that. Okay, I'm not an idiot. Okay, Waka Waka is obviously better than this. Um, but it's not about better or worst. It's about giving the song its moment to shine. Okay, how about y'all get on board? Get with the schedule. Okay? Why am I getting mad at you guys? Where was I? Okay, I'm so lost. Um, but yeah, I think the song was really good. I know a lot of people were giving the song shit, and why is my camera shaking that much? I know a lot of people were giving the song shit, and I don't agree because I like the song, but I understand it's not the best song, and I understand people are watching the World Cup for the soccer and not for the songs, so fine, I understand. Yeah, but I like the song, and I think the song was great. Here, I'm gonna insert a little snippet if you haven't heard it before. This is Light Up the Sky with Nora Fatehi, Manal, Balkis, and Rahman Riyad.
हमें करना है जो हम करेंगे वही हम जैसे यहाँ पर कोई भी नहीं.
So yeah, I think it's a great song. But it wasn't just the song that she was asked to dedicate to the World Cup. Yes, she was asked to be on the song and whatever. But she thought it was just the song, just the music video, and that's it. That was her entire contribution to this World Cup, which she was very grateful for. Obviously, because like who gets this opportunity to perform an anthem for the World Cup? So she thought that was it. But they called her because of all the noise she was making. Again, she's Canadian. She's from Toronto. Would you look at that? Um, where was I? She's Moroccan, and she's mainly based in India. So she represents a lot of the world. She represents India, North Africa, North America. Like that's a crazy demographic to have on your roster if you are the World Cup, and especially if you are being so diverse, especially because it's in Qatar. Of course, you're gonna want a diverse lineup. Like you had Ozuna for a song, you had Nicki Minaj for a song. I think J Balvin was on that song too. So of course you want people like Nora Fatehi to add to your roster because she represents such a big part of the world. So I think that was great. But yeah, because of the noise she was making, because of the stride she was taking as the first of so many things to be able to be given such a position, I'm just overreacting. Because she was the first person to perform the anthem as an Indian, as a North African. Actually, I'm going to take that back. Maybe I don't know that. But she was the first Indian to be asked to do whatever for the World Cup. So because of the noise she was making. I take a shot every time I say because of the noise she's making. She was offered to headline the FIFA Fan Festival in Qatar. Why did I say it like that? In Qatar, so I said it the exact same way actually. In Qatar as well. I'm so sorry for anybody that's listening. I can pronounce it Qatar, Qatar. I'm not trying to be funny or rude. I just genuinely don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm just gonna say Qatar. She was asked to headline the FIFA Fan Festival in Qatar. And the significance of the fan festival is that um each day there was one performance. I believe. I could be wrong. But each day there was one headliner, if you will. Sort of like no, not like Coachella. The one headliner and that would be like the event of the night. Like that's what people would go to watch, and that's what people would go home to write about. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the main event of the night, other than obviously the soccer games and whatever. So she was asked to headline her own show, to have her own day, and that to her obviously insane. Like I'm so incredibly proud of her that she was able to do this. Also, I don't know if I mentioned it's the 1 year anniversary of her doing this. Not today, obviously, but like around this time was the 1 year anniversary. So I find it very fitting that we're talking about this. Anywho, going back to the original tangent, if you will, she got this opportunity to perform at the FIFA Fan Festival, and it was like an hour long set, which is insane. I can hardly do a 7 minute set by myself just dancing, let alone singing, dancing, talking, interacting, and all of that. That's insane. Um, but yeah, I wanted to talk about the set list. I had it up, I swear. Um, Nora Fatehi. It sounds like I'm calling her. Nora Fatehi, FIFA Fan Festival Performance Set List. Be real, just went off. Why is her? Oh, her thing's on the Olympic website. Would you look at that? Very proud of her. I know I've said it before and I'll say it again. I am so incredibly proud of her and what she's been able to accomplish because it's insane. Um, oh my god, oh my god, do I know? Do I know the set list? Can I see the set list? Maybe I don't. But I could tell you that her festival performance obviously included her hits. They also included her song, the English one I was talking about, Pepita, Pepita. It included that as well. Included obviously Dilbar, Saki Saki, Gamaria. So it was basically like, this is who I am. This is the mark I'm making. She held up the Indian flag too. She held up the Moroccan flag. She said encouraging words to the Moroccan team during the performance, which I thought was really cool. Um, because it's your moment. I would think you would want to take it for yourself, but for someone to be so selfless and sort of on shine light towards the people that this means a lot to means a lot. I don't know. Was that even English? I could not tell you. But yeah, set list would have been crazy. I tried to find the whole performance online, but I could not. I could only find it in snippets, and that too not even consequential. No, consecutive sequence segments. Did I just glitch? I have no idea what I was saying. But yeah, that was really cool. Why did I write 70K? Oh, There were 70,000 people in the audience. The largest audience she has performed for. She's performed at the Filmfare Awards. She's performed at, if you don't know what that is, that's basically the Indian Oscars. She's performed there. She's performed at IFA, which is like the Indian International Film Academy. I think I just made that up. IFA is real. The acronym that I made up is not. Um, what does IFA stand for? What does IFA stand for? International Indian Film Academy Awards. Okay, wasn't that far off. Maybe I was. Um, but yeah, she's performed there as well. So she's performed at a lot of big places. But 70,000 people, insane. 70,000 people is a lot of people. Okay? Okay. It's turning me on. And then that's when that's the why am I making faces like this? This is when um the controversy started. Okay. So, it was very windy that day that she was performing at the FIFA Fan Festival, okay? So, I'm painting a picture for you. You're on stage. You're performing for 70,000 people. It's windy. You want to pay homage to your home country, India. Now you hold up the flag, and because of the wind, it flies in the opposite direction, so it looks like you're holding the flag upside down for maybe 2 seconds. Okay? Maybe 2 seconds, and then obviously you correct it because the wind chills. Hey, wind, chill down, calm down, and you're holding the flag the right way. Now that I painted the picture, the controversy was that she held the flag upside down and that it was, people were clowning her, people were trolling her, people were like, oh, look at her. Like, I just can't fathom the fact that you deduced such a historic moment for someone like that to the way she was holding a flag. Are you insane? Are you actually okay? Is your coconut okay? Because what are you doing? Because what are you doing? That's actually insane. You need to take into account how historic this is. I know I just said that, but like, you just cannot fathom the fact that nobody has ever done this. She even said this in her documentary that she went to an award performance shortly thereafter, after she performed at the fan festival. So the closing ceremonies haven't happened yet. But after she performed at the fan festival, she went to an award function and she said a big star. And I would love to know who that was because, of course, I wanted to be Akshay Kumar. I hate the man. But I think, I don't know who I think it is. I don't know why I started that sentence with I think. But she said that a big star came up to her and said, then talked about the controversy. And she was like, that's what you got out of the performance? And then they backtracked, obviously, because they understand where they went wrong. And they were like, no, what are you talking about? Like, you did great here, there, and everywhere. And she was like, that's disappointing, and turned around and walked away. And as she freaking should. Have some self respect, girl. That's that's insane. That people held on to that moment in time instead of appreciating what an insanely talented person that this is who's taking on such a big, you know you know what I'm saying. But yeah, instead of appreciating how historic this moment is for her and for her nations and the nations she represents, they stuck to this Indian flag controversy, which is so dumb. I'm so insane. um but hey, logo ka kaam hi hai, baat karna, so whatever. So, yes, there was this controversy after her fan festival performance. So, mind you, she's already done the song, she's done the music video for it. The music video has released as well. She's performed at the fan festival, her hour set, and she is done, as far as she knows. Now, because of the overwhelming support she had online regarding this controversy, they bought her back for the closing ceremony where she performed Light Up the Sky, not by herself because every other artist was there, but like during the closing ceremony, which was streamed to. Before I start making up facts, How many people watched the World Cup 2022 closing ceremony? Okay, so they're saying 5 million people, 1.5 billion people. 1.5 billion people. That's insane. Oh, they tuned in to watch the match. Um, so I assume they stuck around to watch the closing ceremony too. Anywho, that's not my prerogative. My prerogative is she got her moment to shine on the field by herself for that 30, 40 seconds. Excuse me, where she performed the English part as well as the Hindi part. But feeling like kuch kuch hota hai. But why did I say that? The point is that that's an insanely incredible opportunity she was bestowed, and I am so forever proud of her for that. Because again, I don't think she got her flowers for it. I don't think people understand just how historic this moment is for her. She said it multiple times in her documentary that this could have been anyone, but it was me, so I have to deliver for the people that I represent. Because, again, like I said, she represents North America, she represents Morocco, North Africa, she represents South Asia, she represents India as well, which is more than a billion people. So she's like, not that she's doing it for them, but she's like, she's doing it for herself as well at the end of the day. Um, but yeah, I just think she deserves her flowers, obviously, which is what this entire episode is about. Um, yeah. So basically, I'm so proud of her. If you've seen the performance, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I do have one tiny critique. Her dress could have been better, respectfully. I know she was dancing in it. I know the sneakers matched the outfit, but like, girl, you could have looked a little bit better. But that's not the point. The point is that she did her thing. The one thing, wow, I'm yawning. I also would love to commend her for using dancers from India for her set. She said during her documentary that the World Cup organizers, or who was organizing her fan festival performance, said that here are some local dancers from Doha, use them. And she said, no, this needs to be an authentically Indian performance because I am representing India in this performance as well. So I'm going to bring my dancers from India for this performance, and that's the end of the story. So I commend her for that as well, for keeping it as authentic as possible. There was also one scene about some dress, not malfunction, a dress fitting, and she was like, she wanted a lehenga, and she wanted it to be as authentic as possible. She was like, I don't care if it's hard to change out of, I don't care if it's too as long as I don't trip on it, but I want it to be as authentically Indian as possible because that's the classical scene. So I commend her for that as well. Yeah. But moving on to the whole beef she had with Deepika. Well, she didn't have the beef, but like people made beef question mark between her and Deepika, which I thought was so uncalled for. It was so dumb. Um, but the whole thing was is that Nora Fatehi had, you know, the song, the music video, the fan festival performance, and the closing ceremony performance all to herself. Okay, that is Nora Fatehi's accomplishment as a female performer in the Indian film industry. Now, where she was overlooked is what I was trying to say. Where she was overlooked was when Deepika Padukone, and if you don't know who Deepika Padukone is, she is an Indian actress. Um, I'm not sure if she's worked in other languages, but to be safe, I'm going to say she's a part of the Indian film industry, where she is mainly an actress and an endorser and a philanthropist. She, one of the most successful actresses of all time of India, um, because she is the face of Louis Vuitton, or was the face of Louis Vuitton at the time, she had the honor and privilege, and I am not saying this to diminish how, again, historic this moment is as well, but I saw a notification and I completely forgot where I was going with this. Not to diminish how historic this moment is as well, but she had the honor and privilege of unveiling the World Cup trophy with, I don't know, some president of the World Cup. I don't really care. So she came out at the beginning of the final performance. What am I going on about? Maybe I need to stop recording. She came out at the beginning of the final match between Argentina and France and unveiled the trophy. And after that, it was insane how much I was hearing about, like, oh, like, look at the Indian representing us. Look at how wonderful it is to see someone like us, like Deepika Padukone, on such a big stage. And Amitabh Bachchan was there too, question mark. I don't care about the Buddha. I genuinely just don't. I just not my problem. He's been hosting KBC for 700 years now and he needs to stop. Side tangents aside, that's the narrative I was hearing, that she is the first person to do this and she deserves her flowers and this is so historic for women of color, for India, for XYZ. Okay, that's the narrative I was hearing. And this is when I made that TikTok going back to the beginning of this podcast episode. That's when I said that you guys completely missed the plot. You completely missed that Nora Fatehi not did it first, not did it better, but she is also someone to be celebrated for her achievements. And that's something that really irked me. That no one, I'm saying no one, but I'm just saying the general public. The general public didn't give her her dues. And I think she deserves them, obviously. So I'm so sorry, Nora Fatehi, if you're watching, for how people treated you. And I'm just so insanely proud of both Nora Fatehi and Deepika Padukone because I don't think one was better than the other. Okay, they both had contributions to such a big moment. Okay, the Super Bowl is literally nothing compared to the FIFA World Cup. So to get such an opportunity itself is such a big deal, and um to take it on head first in the way that Nora and Deepika did, hats off. I'm so incredibly proud of the both of them. So that's where I will end off the episode. I, again, I've said it before and I will say it again. I'm so incredibly proud of Nora for what she did. I think she deserves her flowers. And if there's one thing I could say, watch her performance, listen to the song, and go watch that documentary because that was, I've already felt this way before, but that documentary just, like, made me remember everything all over again. So go take a look at that. And yeah, thank you guys for sticking around. I really appreciate it. Go follow me on my other socials, TikTok, Instagram. You're already here on my podcast. I have a Redbubble shop as well, where you can get aesthetic film stickers, if you will. Go check that out as well. All right, so it did cut me off, but I was literally at my outro, so I don't even think I needed to keep talking. But here I am once again, yapping away. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, I guess, to episode 6, I think. Yeah, stay tuned next week, and stay tuned for Monday when I release the video version. Until then, keep being Desi and keep being Dhamaka. I don't know.